Well, here we are. This meeting should have been a podcast. We're making it a podcast.
Took us long enough.
Yeah, I think I probably sat on this for a couple months.
Well, you and me both. It was one of those, I'm excited. Got other stuff to do. I'm excited. Oh, I got other stuff to do.
Yeah, well, now we're going to do it. We're going to do it consistently and build this thing up. But my third podcast, we've been talking about this for a year. Super excited to do this. And we're not doing it just to do it, right? Like, I watch a lot of podcasts, listen to a lot of podcasts, and I think we're trying to fill a void here, right? Like, let's take the conversations I see elsewhere, which are great, and put our own little spin on it. Two Toms from New York.
What could go wrong there? Yeah, I always thought of, in my prior show life, it was this fear of missing out sort of moment where you heard a guest having a conversation with somebody. You're like, I wish I was in the room. And this venue allows us to kind of share that experience so people feel like they're part of it. But yeah, I'm on my second show. You're on your third show. Took us a while to get here. Just in our pre-banter, we talked about how I was your last episode on the last show. So I sort of, the curse of the blessing to kind of get this going.
We're really bookending. Sure. Yeah, thanks for joining.
Yeah, no.
Well, wait, no, thanks for letting me join this.
Well, yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's like, well, it was your baby first, and then we morphed it into two Toms walk into a bar, and I don't know. The amount of names we could have come up with beyond this one, but this one just sat and it just fit really well.
Yeah, I was really worried this meeting should have been a podcast, was too much of a mouthful, but you know, I just couldn't get off it. It's who we are. That's our vibe. That's us.
Well, it's just like even in some of the posts and conversations leading up to it, where I know I was writing about it a couple of months ago and you were too, and people were like, oh, what a great name. And they just felt it. They're like, I don't even care what you talk about. I just want to listen for the name.
That's a lot of pressure. I mean, are you going to play those ukuleles at some point on the show here?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
They're not just decorative. You know how to use them?
No. Yeah. The dog, I've got a dog here with me that I dog sit, Scarlet. And so she doesn't like the ukulele. She actually will go bonkers and start barking at it and run away from me. I don't know why. I don't even have to play anything in tune or out of tune. She just doesn't like the string tones.
All right. So you're not good at ukulele. I got it.
We can take that.
If you're a dog, I guess. If you're a dog.
It was the funniest thing. I just took it out one day. I'm like, ting, ting, ting. And she just started, rah, 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 rah. And I'm like, okay, I guess this is a thing. I've never seen that. My old dog didn't care. I got bongo drums. She doesn't care. Play radio, play piano. Doesn't care. But
I have a thought. When we did our showrunner, you had a Lakers hat on. Is it maybe are you always wearing a Lakers hat, and that's why she's jumping on you? Because she doesn't like the Lakers. Like, that?
You know, other than the bubble win, it's been a pretty sad existence since Kobe. So I don't have a lot to stand on. This year, I'm a little bit more hopeful.
I don't know if you can see my shoulders. Those gray shoes are Kobe 4s that Kobe signed both of them for me in person. So wow. I've got a little bit of Lakers love. I'm in Denver now. I'm a Nuggets fan. I've been a Nuggets fan since I got here, and I was forced to dump the Lakers to be a true Nuggets fan, and I was happy to dump the Lakers.
You were in LA for a bit.
Yeah, lived out in LA. It was great. Maybe that's why I want to be on a screen now, because of my LA days.
That was a dream when I was a kid. Like, I wanted to be, you know, when Who's the Boss, I'm dating myself. When Who's the Boss was on, I'm like, I could be on that show. And there was just a bunch like Family Ties and all these other shows. I'm a little older than you, but you know, you just had this envy. I'm like, I could do that. What? I could do that.
Family Ties is a great show. That's a good drop. I used to watch that growing up. That was fantastic.
Yeah. Well, Growing Pains, right? Kurt
Cameron.
Yeah.
DiCaprio was on that. That was like his earliest show. He was in like the later seasons. Remember? He was like, was he adopted or? I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, who knows? I think he got the left shoe or whatever it was. He had a bunch of stuff, and same thing for like Johnny Depp. They just had a bunch of stuff. But now, like, I'm watching reruns of this show called The Newsroom. If you saw that on HBO,
hey, Newsroom's great.
Yeah, great show. But we're just starting back through. David Hasbrook is a main character in there as this guy Elliot. You've got Olivia Munn, who plays a financial analyst, reporters, news specialist on there, and it's all these great cast of characters. You just forgot. I'm like, holy cows, right? Even Jane Fonda's in there.
I mean, what year was that? I mean, this is, if you're watching this is 2025. We're recording this, and we're talking about The Newsroom right off the bat here. That's got to be what, like 8 years ago, 10 years ago?
8 or 9 years ago. Yeah, because the dates in the show were around 2010, 11, I think. maybe a little bit more recent because there was like they talked about the Exxon Valdez. They talked about this oil rig that shut because they used some
Valdez.
basis of real life stories going on. And then the other show that I'm watching, which is 25th anniversary, is West Wing, which I'm a few seasons in on that. But that is in that 2010 2009 kind of era.
Funny pivot. I was just at my kids' like back to school for fifth grade. His teacher's like, "What do you remember about fifth grade?" My answer immediately was watching the space shuttle Discovery blow up in the classroom with everybody. And I didn't even think. It was just like, boom, that was fifth grade for me. Like, so to kind of go back and date, like, it's funny what sticks with you, right?
Right. Well, for me, it was the Challenger, and that was
Wait, was it the Challenger? I messed it up. That was the
Challenger.
Challenger. Yeah, that was fifth
Yeah.
grade. Sorry. I'm
Yep.
going to edit that out.
No, you can be wrong. You can go. It's all good.
All right. It's a
We're
safe
going
space.
back.
Good.
We're going back 30, 40 years, it seems, right? And I remember that vividly. We were off playing out in the snow upstate New York, and one of my friend's dads popped out and told us the shuttle exploded. We're like, what? And this is like, I don't know, 11 o'clock in the morning. It's freezing cold outside. And I don't know why we weren't in school. I wasn't skipping, I promise. But I
Well,
remember
the
that
snow, probably.
it was colder. We walked uphill back and forth to school. So it was, it's that old adage. But I was literally 3 doors down from the school. So there
Good
wasn't an
band.
excuse not to go. You always had to listen to the radio. Yeah, you had to listen to the radio, and you had our letter was started with P, so you had to go through all the alphabet to get to us. We're like, do we have school? Do we have school? Oh, damn it!
Yeah, it's man, back to the I used to put tapes in and record on the radio because I was trying to record Everybody Wants to Rule the World so bad so I could listen to it whenever I wanted. And I finally got it. It took like 2 weeks before I finally caught Everybody Wants to Rule the World. But yeah,
What kind of
back
boombox did you
harkening
have?
back. Oh man, I started out with a single speaker, single deck, which was like the nerdiest stereo back in the day. But now, everyone had the two speakers, two decks, but I only got the one. I
I had
upgraded.
a Panasonic boombox. It held 6 double D batteries. And then I went to I got a stereo that I bought. I'd sold magazines or something from Boys Life or something. I don't remember what I got the money from, but it was like $90. I bought this stereo. It began with a Q or something, but I had, you could hit it right there. The radio's playing, you hit record right on the stereo, and it was like earth shatteringly cool until you realize I'm like, oh, this is like a $20 stereo.
Yeah, you look back on what was cool. Let's look forward, right? Like, who are you, Tom? For those of you that don't know you, tell us about. Let's do some intros and then talk about why we're doing this show.
Perfect. Yeah. So I'm an upstate New Yorker. I've been in upstate New York my whole life. I spent until through college, probably about 40 minutes south of the Canadian border, 30 minutes south of the Canadian border, about 40 minutes from Montreal. So if you're looking on the map, way far north where it's cold, not Buffalo snow. This is Adirondack Park, Lake Champlain snow, basically across the lake from Burlington. So people will recognize Burlington quicker. Went to college in Albany. It's my alma mater here, U Albany hat that I've got on today. And finished my bachelor's there, stayed in Albany, raised family, tried once, failed. And the second time, it's going much better. So I jokingly call it my practice wife in my real life.
My
Or rough
goodness, you went
draft,
there.
right?
You went there. Oh my God.
But
My
yeah,
guess is she won't be listening.
yeah, probably not, probably not. And she knows that it's sort of tongue in cheek, but I'm as equal at fault in that relationship as she was. So it's not. I don't look back at it now, all those years ago, where my fault, your fault, whatever. Life. I'm much happier. She's much happier. The kids are much happier, which was what it was all about back then. And so
Heck yeah.
I live in Ballston Spa, which is just outside of Saratoga Springs. Spent about 20 years in recruiting and talent acquisition. That was past my first career. So yeah, I'm old and now running my own company. So it's fun. Just me.
Build better culture.
Build better culture. Yeah. Leadership development, coaching, telling people how they can check in with their people better and make them, I don't know, you get one more person to stay that you didn't want to leave. You can't save them all. You can just try and save as many as you can and you just give people better skills. So anyway, less of a commercial about that, but that's just the kind of the history.
I mean,
Running my own
we're
thing.
gonna talk about what we do here.
Yeah, we'll get there. There'll be lots of stories and interjection points. Yeah, so that's me. My kids are all grown up. My wife's in healthcare, so I try to draw some stories here and there from them. Well, I'm sure I'll reference them as we move forward, just in terms of life examples, which is the best kind. And yeah, and really happy to be here. I did, like I mentioned in the intro part, I did co-host a show for I don't know, we had like 25, 27 episodes with a friend of mine when I was with in my last gig in the recruiting world. It was a lot of fun. So here you get to kind of take some of those experiences and ideas about what's fun, what's enjoyable, and carrying those conversations to everybody out there listening to us. What about
Awesome.
you? I know you started in New York, so that's kind of these
Yeah.
small world connection points.
Yeah. Two Toms from the Empire State. Tom Horne grew up at West Point, New York, around the Hudson River. My son's name is Hudson. Daughter's name is Sailor, which is ironic because Annapolis is Army's arch rival and they make sailors. So definitely caught some crap about that name from my dad for a minute. But
I'm sure.
Hudson and Sailor grew up, went to James Madison University, business and hospitality degrees, worked in hotel. Never really in HR the first half of my career, but I always realized HR folks were the best people to partner with and to make sure you had on your side and to check all the things I had to do so I didn't get in trouble when I was writing someone else up. I mean, how many managers have you seen that do a write up and then they get in trouble more because they handled it poorly, right? So,
Botched it. They botch it. Yeah.
yeah, like
That's
those are
why
the
I have a
lessons.
business.
Those are the lessons where I'm like, man, all right, HR stuff, always be keyed in. But, I've done everything, run hotels, run restaurants, been CEO of a restaurant company, been in HR tech as a partner to HR folks. And to me, it's really important not to be selling to the HR space, but to partner in the HR space. And currently I'm at Harry. We do workforce management, talent acquisition in the restaurant space, work with some of the best logos you'll find out there. Everybody knows our clients, which is really great. Kind of combines everything in my world. So part of the reason this took so long, I put a lot of time into that job. I love my job as a director of partnerships, love my company, and love podcasting. So here we are. I'm going to take some extra time out of my personal life to get this thing to market because I think these conversations are important. Not about my one track stereo, not important, but the stuff we're going to cover in this show is important. So listen,
We're going to find a way to weave that one speaker stereo and tape deck. I remember the old tape deck, just the single tape. Those are going to come in. We're going to find a tie-in there somewhere.
I'm going to see if I can find a picture of that. I'll add it in somewhere into this into the show here. So why are we doing this, right? Like, it's honestly, podcasting has nothing to do with me. It really doesn't. I do it because I want to get in the room with people that I want to learn from and have conversations I wouldn't have otherwise. That's my why we're here. What's your why, Tom?
Yeah, I echo that sentiment. I think having conversations, sharing conversations with different people, again, I said it earlier, help people feel like they're in the room having these conversations. They're busy living their lives, raising kids, dealing with elderly parents, or being the elderly parent, whatever that looks like. You can't be everywhere at all times. So sharing those messages, sharing those lessons, I will give the analogy of like we teach our kids, yours are a little younger than mine, but you teach them hoping they're going to make the right moves. But there's also a little bit of they've got to make some of their own mistakes. Do I want to making all the same mistakes? No. But if we can shorten up some of that learning curve, much like here, share some stories and shorten people's learning curves as far as what they can do, who they can connect with. I love the old HR social hour, half hour podcast where it was all network driven. You were just
That's where
trying
it
to help
started for
everybody
me.
out. Yeah. Same
Yep.
here. That's how we first met.
Is it?
Yeah.
Of
Through
course it
that
is.
whole Twitter community, right?
Yeah, that Twitter community through COVID brought so many HR people together. Just so many people together. It was one of those positive offshoots from a very, very negative piece.
Yeah. Everything happens for a reason, though, right? If we didn't have that adversity, where would we be now? Zoom? Who knows? We'd still
Exactly.
be in the
Well,
office.
and as technology, I mean, there's a million HR podcasts out there, and we're not trying to just be another one. Our thought, or at least my thought, well, I'll say our thought, I'll speak for you here for a second. Let's have a different version of the conversation. There's some very super intelligent, smart conversations. There's some fun conversations. Our goal is to really pull them together, right? Like, work is hard. If you're out there, work is really tough right now. The economy's unstable, I'll say. I'm not going to say good or bad, but it's unstable. There's a lot going on. And I'm going to post a Far Side comic that I posted on LinkedIn last week. I'm at like 56,000 impressions from posting a Far Side about a salesman. And my takeaway is people want humor. People are on LinkedIn for work. But when you can connect the work and the humor together, I think people are going to listen a little bit more. And I think that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, it's funny. I was at a session a few months ago, and the presenter was giving stats about employee engagement and what people paid attention to. And one of them was about managers being funny. And the stat was like 20% of people want a manager who's funny. And I'm like, this woman's going to put me out of business. Like, this is my whole mantra. And I'm sitting there with a friend of mine. She's like, stop, you're interrupting. I'm like, but this is me. I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I love
But
it.
I agree with you. Humor has to be there.
That's it. It's a deliverable, right? Like it can't be the, at least for me, like it's a deliverable. It's not the subject. It's not the meat. It's how I deliver. Good, bad. I watch The Daily Show, and I'm not trying to go politics, but like, there's so much bad news. I kind of want my news delivered to me in a fun way, which is why I watch
Right.
it. Right? Like,
Right. Well,
it's not. I
that's the
don't look
whole
at it
thing
as a
about
news
it.
source. People just want to like say that.
Right. Right. I think it's you there's the how and the why, right? What do I need and the what of what's going on in the business world, in your personal world, in the political, geopolitical, all that mess. But at the end of the day, if I have a choice to get beat up with the news or be entertained by it and at least take it with a grain of salt, like it's kind of like going to a comedy show. They're not trying to be insensitive. They're trying to get you to step away from the world and just have a laugh about something and take you into a moment of the absurdity of different scenarios. And whether that's laughing at your families when they mispronounce things, that's just sort of something that's going to get in trouble if I elaborate. That'll be a different story for another day. But it could be anything. Like, you just got to find the humor in life and recognize, no, we're not trying to be mean. Yeah, humor can go sarcastic and get testy, but yeah, I'm a huge fan. Gotta laugh in life. That's what it's about.
That's it. So if you saw our showrunner, we promised no corporate jargon. That was a complete lie. We're going to talk about corporate jargon, but we're going to have fun with it. So I got a new one I saw, Tom. Can I introduce the newest corporate jargon I saw yesterday? I couldn't believe it. I'm always like waiting to see the next thing people come up with, but I just saw it. It blew my mind. You ready?
Please, come on. I'm
We're gonna,
dying with bated breath.
I'm going to show it on the screen. Quiet cracking.
Is that dealing with like crackers?
Like, honestly, like I don't like I still have I've brought it up and I still have not been able to bring myself to the HR executive article that I saw. And I love HR executive, love a lot of the folks there, but like, quiet cracking, man. I almost died when I saw it. I was like, there it is. And it says maybe HR's latest buzzword. Have you heard it before?
I think I saw it in an article, and I think I saw the word quiet. I'm like, we've had so many quiets in the last 5 years. I just don't care anymore. Like, come up with something original, right?
Yeah, it's like,
It's
that's the rehash we're talking about, right? Like that's what we're trying to solve for. Like, how do we get these messages without just rehashing the same crap? Oh, I did pull it up. Quiet cracking is the suggestion that employees are suffering immense stress and burnout and doing so alone, which I think is like a really good message. That's a really important message
right.
that
It's
I
another
think we
way of
should pay
saying
attention
burnout.
to. Yeah, like I feel like the importance of that gets taken away by the term quiet cracking. Like, that drives me insane. Like, let's just take care of people. Burnout, stress. Like, let's call it what it is. Let's not make it sound fun or cute to get eyes on it. And maybe that's what it is, to get the eyes on it. But to me, it turns me away. I just now read that article that I've had on my tab for a week now in preparation of this show. I didn't even want to read it. I was like, I'm over this. Like, I don't even want to see what quiet cracking is all about.
Right.
I'm done.
At the end of the day, it's just disengagement and people unplugging because more or less they're pissed off at you. You're pissed off at the business for putting so much on your plate, trying to make you do more with less, not compensating you for it. And like, I get it. On the one side, if it's same skill level, like if it's going to take me $25 an hour worth of time and effort and you're still paying me $25 an hour, then I don't care. If you're asking me to do executive function stuff that somebody else is normally getting $100 an hour, then yeah, pony up. But the whole
Absolutely.
gist is, why are you're not doing anything? Companies aren't doing things enough about burnout. And it's just, for me, it bugs me because the managers bear the brunt of it and then they take it out on their employees and it just turns into this turnover circle. And you have, I call them fuddy duddies. Nobody wants to work anymore. No, they don't want to work for you.
Well, that's it. And I love that point. It's the managers, the people that literally have the biggest impact in your business in a lot of industries. They're the most stressed out. They don't have the support, and it goes downhill. And they end up, you know, they end up being bad managers and then creating the quiet cracking for their employees under them.
And they don't, that's a really, really good point there, right? They don't start down that, we'll say dark path. I've got Star Wars stuff all over. I can say dark side. They don't start there, right? They end up there just because of circumstances and what's going on in their lives. And so here you have managers who once saw the good, the sunshine, the rainbow, the lucky charms in life, right? What are the purple clovers? I don't know. I can't get all the colors right. The songs, I can hear the tune. I just can't see the words.
I know there's a rainbow in there and a purple
Purple
horseshoe.
horseshoes.
It's a purple horseshoe. Yep. I had to
Yep.
get there.
Yep. Yep. But yeah, they eventually succumb to all the pressure, like peer pressure, brain pressure, work pressure, and the bosses are like, somebody's got to do it. It's got to be you.
Well,
That's
and you can get the most out of your employees. You can push them. You can be tough. I came up in sports. My best coaches weren't my best friends, but they're the people that I got the most out of for myself, and I still carry today. And there's ways to do that, and that's the kind of stuff I want to make sure we're talking about on this podcast.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, and so as we dive into that, we'll touch into topics like this in regards to retention. We'll talk about it from the TA perspective. We'll talk about these issues with perhaps some business owners and fractional HR professionals, as well as folks that are in the seat leading these changes and trying to be strategic and championing. See, I'm using all the corporate buzzwords, championing causes. I was writing a proposal for something and I
Total
said, how
liar.
do I make this more appealing to CHROs? Like, put the word champion in there. They like that. Put strategic in there. They like that. I'm like,
Well, and that's what's worse. We can now evolve that. Now I'm the quiet cracking guy. So it's like you're kind of stuck with these buzzwords, right? Like you're either stuck with a buzzword or you're doing something different that's worse than the old buzzword.
I
It's a
know,
big old
I
cycle.
know. But yeah, we've
Well,
got some really great guests in store. I know.
yeah, go
Should
ahead
we
and share.
reveal a couple of
Tease
them?
some
Yeah.
of them. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So our good buddy Steve Brown has agreed. I don't know that he knows what he's getting into, but he knows both of us. Again, back from the half hour podcast, the half hour social HR social hour half hour podcast. And when they got to the Twitter chat, that had an even longer name. But back from that community, there was a bunch of great people, and we met Steve and a number of other great people. But we also have John Baldino from Human Reso coming on later on down the pike. Luttrell Toller, he's out in LA. He was your buddy that brought you to LA. He was telling me some stories about you.
Man, Lutero and I have stories. He was a recruiter. That's all he was. Recruiter working for a firm to try to fill a job, 5,000, how many miles New York and LA are. And he's now one of the most influential people in my life, which is part of the reason I love talent acquisition and recruiting so much, which is a space I now work in. So big shout out to Luttrell. Can't wait to talk to him again. And then Christine Miller from the
Yeah,
Experience Group, who
yeah,
you
I'm
know.
excited for you to chat with her. I know I've gotten to know her over the last several months. We met through some online networking here in the last year and have had a lot of great conversations about not only what it is to bring somebody into an organization, but how do you make them feel experience-wise once they're there, whether they're at home or in a remote, I should say, once they're at home or they're in an office, or maybe it's a hybrid environment where you have people coming and going, sort of the jockeying of desks. There's an experiential component. A buddy of mine on a prior show used to say, invite people to the office, give them purpose for being there versus I'm going to do my Zooms from the cubicle room. Great. I could have done that from home.
Yeah, right. Engagement. I worked in engagement for a long time. You talk about culture, I talk about engagement. That's the cornerstones of the conversations I want to have. And I think it's a great guest group. We're going to have guests guests you've never heard of. We're going to have some frontline people that don't have giant titles that can bring a perspective straight from the front lines. So we're going to have a big old range of guests. That's just a teaser of who we've got coming up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to circle back. I want to talk about this earlier for a hot second, but not the same old conversations, right? Like part of the reason we're doing this, the Darden report, University of Virginia, Darden School of Business, like pretty good stuff, right?
Right. I haven't read through it, but I've heard the Darden School of Business. I've heard of Virginia and
yeah. I went to James Madison, which people from UVA say stands for just missed UVA, which that is not the driver of why I'm going to call out something from their School of Business here right now.
That's cold. That's like calling out Nuggets fans for thinking that they were competitive.
I mean, we won more recently than you guys won.
How many championships have you won?
I mean, we're talking, we're not going all the way back in time. We're talking recent here. We're going to win one this
Okay,
year
all
too.
right, all right, all right, all right. I'll give you that one. Like I said, I haven't had much to cheer for. I will still cheer, but I don't follow the Lakers as closely as I do the Dodgers and the Niners. So it's sad.
All right, listen, are you ready? Are you ready for the hot topics in HR? This came out
Let's go.
September 9th, 2025. The hottest topics in HR. You ready?
I'm
There's going to be
ready.
some groundbreaking stuff you've never heard of. AI and technology, the war for talent, hybrid work, employee reskilling and upskilling, blending talent, employee engagement. This is new cutting edge stuff. None of our listeners have ever heard of these hot topics that are just now coming out in our space, right?
The only one that you read off so far, the blending of talent, I've not heard that phrase.
I will say I like blending of talent,
I'm
and I
not
like
sure
all
what you
these things.
mean, but
I don't not like any of this, right?
right. But it's like they've been talking about all of these topics for 5+ years. Who's doing anything about it?
All right, so I'm reading blending of talent. There's been a rapid change in organizations backing away from DEI commitments. One question many executives struggle with is how to pursue the substantive benefits of a diverse and inclusive workforce while still adhering to some of the recent executive orders around DEI. So, blending talent is DEI without having to say DEI. So,
That's a tough topic. We were talking about that in my
not
local.
new, very important.
No, but yeah, I think everyone in that space obviously saw a lot of the consultants shrink their staffs because there wasn't the funding, there wasn't the spending, there was a lot of turmoil there. But we know that it's such a critical area that we have to address and keep our finger plugged into. And there's more stress with all of them, especially folks who are, I don't want to say on the fringe, that's not the right word, but are dramatically impacted by the lack of commitment on DEI and B and how it relates to their workforce, the people that they're trying to support, their employees. And it's almost like they're getting their hands slapped, or they are getting their hands slapped, frankly, for even talking about it or mentioning it. And so
Schools and
how you,
businesses are losing hundreds of millions of dollars in funding
yeah,
because
you
they're
have the
trying to be
tools.
diverse.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
They're
crazy.
trying to do the right intent. And obviously there's different SKUs, and we're not going to go into the political scheme, but yeah, so it's a big topic. And I like this blending talent. I like that phrase. I think now that I understand, I think we can spend some more time diving into that. And we can ask folks like Steve and John and some others, hey, how is this affecting you from the HR standpoint? But then with some of the business owners and business leaders, what are you doing here?
And again, that's why I brought it up now, right? Like, this conversation is the same conversation every single year since the beginning of work. What our goal is to address what that conversation means today, here and now, and in a way that is not saying, here's the hottest topics, and then repeat the same crap, respectfully. Or that was kind of different. Repeat the same crap that you've heard every single year. Let's have different conversations about that, because the setting every year changes. So it is important. It's the same things, but how do we tackle these with new angles where we're at today? And that's why you and I are talking on a podcast.
Yeah. Well, I think there's that definition of an insanity, right? It's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. You're gonna keep running into walls if the wall's in front of you and you're not going around it. There's some cartoon that I saw, we'll pull it up another time, where the character keeps walking into a hole in the ground. There's a hole in the middle of the road and keeps walking into it, even though they see it coming, until they decide to make changes in their own paths. I'll find it for us and we'll show that. But it's very on point with, unless you're going to choose to make the change and approach it differently or have a different spin or context or understanding, you're going to keep making the same mistakes.
Well, and people keep making the same mistakes. The key is not perfection. It's 5% better tomorrow, 5% better the next day, 1% better the day after that. Constant movement.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
listen,
you and
we
I
got
go from a sales standpoint, right? It was make one more phone call today. That's all you got to do. One more phone
Yep.
call and make all the world difference.
Yep. It's like the Kaizen, or the best thing anyone ever told me is a 1-degree angle as you go further down becomes a giant difference maker by changing that first degree. And that's what we're here to do. All right, listen, we've been talking a lot. I want to try to keep this tight. We spent so much time talking about, our lives at the beginning. I want to make sure we have time to talk about our segments. We're going to have segments that will repeat in these shows. It won't just be us meandering. We will have guests. This is our intro show, so you can kind of get to know who we are, what's going on. But segment number 1 we're going to preview today is what does AI say? Where we're going to ask AI different questions and see what kind of answers it gives us back. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to.
We almost need a sound bit like what does the fox say kind of sound segment without breaching any sort of licensing issues. That's what's going off in my head.
Like as we get closer, I'm going to try automate this. This is going to be a little clunky in the first time, but I got a screenshot. My first question for GPT is, what's AI say about why job postings all sound the same? I feel like Katrina Kibben would have some opinions on this AI. All right, so I've thrown it in. My GPT, most job posts are written by templates. Companies want consistency, competitive play, team player, legal compliance. Yeah, that makes sense. Here's one. Fear of being too different, in quotes. Many organizations don't invest in employee branding, so they default to safe, generic descriptions instead of showcasing culture or personality. I actually think that's a really good call out.
Yeah.
I think that's a big piece. What say you?
I think in my experience, again, and I say this because I played 20 years in that space. Everything from the boring, we've got a warehouse job, you're going to lift stuff, $12 an hour, $8 an hour, whatever it was. I'm old, so the wages have changed over time. But these days, I think you need to have, I was long a proponent of, somebody needs to create video job descriptions. Show me what I'm doing. Show me something interesting. Show me somebody doing the job that I'm going to be. You don't have to reveal trade secrets or anything like that. I get that from a design standpoint if you have contractors who are locked into NDAs. But tell me who I'm going to interact with, what my support structure is going to look like. Give me a little video narrative, almost like what you see with the YouTube shorts. You have people talking about stuff all the time. And you're right. I think that analysis is on point. There are boring job posts, and who wants to apply to a boring job post?
There's a fine line, right? Like you don't want to have like ninja, that was like the big thing, or wizard. It's like, well, how do you SEO, optimize that? How does someone even know what the heck they're doing? So it's like that fine line of like, how do you get them to know what it is, but also stand out? All right. So to end this quick little segment that we'll be running in and out of the show, the final piece is AI says job postings all sound the same because HR keeps copy and pasting from the same dusty templates. Sprinkle in fast-paced environment, team player, and competitive pay. Boom! You've just described 90% of LinkedIn.
Right.
Good job.
And what have you told everybody? You said in that job post description you just read off, I'm going to work you to the bone. I'm going to expect you to work 60 hours a week, but pay you for 35, and you're going to be stressed.
Yeah, that's it.
You tried to make it sound cool. No, you just made it sound awful because
you just stressed me out.
Jargon.
So I think that's a good intro and kind of the next segment. And this segment will be running forever and ever. But we set up a speak pipe. You'll find the links on our webpage. It's a voicemail. You can call in and leave a voice call. You can say whether you want us to use your voice or print it. But we're going to be pulling stories about the worst meetings you've ever had, about worst job descriptions that you've seen. We want to hear from our audience about that. So we've set up SpeakPipe so that all of you can have a voice and tell your stories. We're going to be pulling them into the show. We're going to be talking about them. Again, just in your voicemail if you don't want to hear your voice. And also, we don't want names. We don't want company names. We don't want timelines. We want this to be anonymous. We're not trying to get people fired or in trouble.
Yeah.
We want it to be fun. We want to activate these stories. So if you think your voice is recognizable, just say it in the voicemail. We'll just read the script off of it.
Yeah.
So pretty excited about that SpeakPipe, honestly. That's live now. You can jump in and give us one.
Steve Brown's voice will stand out. Everybody knows what he sounds like.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
You don't, you should. Go buy his book. One of three.
We'll edit out llama and lava lamps on his description too, so no one knows it.
But it's a lot of fun. You and I played around with it, back and forth messaging, and a simple app. You just go to a website, you hit the little record button, boom. You put a fake name. Hey, put a fake name. You can put my name and pretend it was me. Nobody's going to know. I mean, I might know, but that's 50-50.
I think we both have some SpeakPipe stories we've recorded. I think for time, we'll push those to episode 2. But we both have some pretty hairy stories. You're going to know they're ours. But at this point, I picked ones that aren't going to get me fired from anywhere. So,
Yeah,
Tom,
yeah. No, I think it's the same.
what's another segment we're going to be running?
Well, we've got sort of the element of us going back and forth and both learning a little bit more about each other. So we're going to throw in some questions to each other just so we can entertain some conversational points about how do we get here, how do we frame up our line of thinking, but also what brought us to where we are today as, individual contributors. And those, for me, I think of life stories or business life stories. I'd written down, my question was going to be for you is best or worst career mistake, and
Honestly,
from
my best career mistake was also my worst career mistake. Isn't that funny how
yeah,
careers work?
yeah, yeah. Mine was staying too longer than I should have. And we can get in a detailed conversation around that. But the type of segments there where we can come up with different questions to toss back and forth and get you a little bit of insight and information. Maybe some of our lessons are inspirational to you. Maybe you're in that situation right now where, hey, I'm doing what you said you didn't want to do. How do I get out of this? All right. Well, that's woulda, coulda, shoulda. Here's what I would have done or what I should have done, and I didn't. So we'll weave in some of those segments too.
And honestly, I'm gonna like throw in some stuff just to like need you, like Tom versus Tom. That's what we'll call the segment. Like Mad Magazine, Spy versus Spy. I think we can put a twist on that. Do you want to
I
be
have a
the
lot of
black spy or the white spy? Colors from the comic book. Do not come at me with some like I'm
right.
insensitive.
Well, I think it's like the
We're
chess
talking
game.
Mad Magazine here.
You take the two rooks, you put them behind your back, and you pick one.
All right, done and done. Tom versus Tom. All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Tom, awesome getting in the mic with you. I'm super excited to get this out, get some new voices, and have some fun and kind of bring that vibe of this meeting could have been an email. This meeting should have been a podcast.
John, see you next time.
See you next time, everybody. Thanks for joining.